The Joker is one of the most beloved and criminally insane villains of all time, comic books or otherwise. Everything he does seems so crazy that it's easy to slip and forget that underneath those scars and that purple suit, he's just an average human being. We already know of all the things that make the Joker truly nuts, but for this video, we're taking a look at some of the things that make the Clown Prince of Gotham a little bit more like us. Here are 10 secrets about the Joker that prove he's an average human being. Enjoy the video and be sure to subscribe and let us know what you think.
It's going to be a bumpy ride.
He has a real name. One of the things that make us all fundamentally human is the fact that we all have a name. The Joker is a great title, but it turns out that the character actually has a real name just like the rest of us. While it's not accepted as canon, the name Jack Napier is widely agreed upon as the Joker's real name. The only reason that this has not become his official name is that the good folks over at DC Comics have been unable to agree on the true origin story of the Joker. There have been many attempts to set the villain's history in stone, but unfortunately, the confusion remains. The only thing that doesn't seem to change, however, is the name Jack Napier. We have to say that there is something in that name that humanizes this terrifying character just a little bit more. He can't stand up to Superman. The Joker may be one of the most powerful villains of all time, but all the fan power in the world can't make the Clown Prince invincible. Just like any other human being, and pretty much any other superhero too, the Joker can and has been beaten by the all-powerful Superman. Back in the Injustice Gods Among Us comic book series, the Joker pisses off Superman to the point where the Man of Steel ends up punching a hole straight through the villain's chest.
Careful.
The Joker may be well liked, but he sure as hell isn't strong enough to withstand a full-powered blow from Superman. He can't handle his own series. How many of you have stopped and said, "Wow, my life is so interesting, it should be a TV show"? We're guessing that a lot of people just nodded in agreement, but the truth is we are, for the most part at least, just average human beings that would be unable to hold up a television series about ourselves. Unfortunately, the same seems to be true about the Joker, as all attempts to create a show with the Clown Prince as the protagonist have never quite worked out. A lot of this may be due to the fact that there are actual comic character restrictions that say all villains must be apprehended by the end of each issue and/or episode. Whatever the reason may be, just like the rest of us average humans out there, the Joker can't sustain his own series. He was based on a real person. This one doesn't need much explanation, as it is a well-known fact that the character of the Joker was based on a real-life human being. The inspiration for the Joker's character comes from a 1928 film entitled The Man Who Laughs, which is based on a Victor Hugo novel of the same name. In this story, the main character is sentenced to have his face surgically disfigured into a permanent grin for crimes committed by his father. That seems like a very familiar-sounding story, and when you see a picture, the resemblance is uncanny. If the Joker can be based on a real human being, the Joker can be a real human being. He has baggage. As humans, we definitely aren't immune to our pasts, and we are definitely all guilty of being affected by things that have happened to us. It's called having baggage, and guess what? Our good friend the Joker has a lot of his own too.
How are we gonna feed our baby? You think I'm not worried about that?
While it can be hard to tell what stories are true and what stories he's making up for dramatic effect, one thing is clear: the Joker has baggage. In the literal sense, he has scars on his face that influence a lot of what he does, but he also clearly has emotional scarring that helps to guide him in his ways. As humans, we all know that it can be hard to escape our past sometimes, and it's like the Joker is right there with us on this one. He didn't used to be a killer. Thankfully, most people in the real world aren't psychotic serial killers, as it's not the way average humans are really supposed to behave. The Joker is a murderer, without question, but this was not always the case, because believe it or not, there was a time when the thrilling villain wasn't a killer at all. While the Joker was a killer in his first ever appearance, he quickly then changed into somebody more interested in stealing fine art and jewelry. That version of the character stuck around for a while, and there was even a time when the Joker was somewhat of a mockery of Batman, as he became obsessed with creating all of his own gadgets. These different levels of criminal ferocity definitely help us to understand that the Joker is more of an average human being than we thought. He can die, and he has. One of the things that makes us all human is the very fact that one day, each and every one of us is gonna die. The Joker is no different, as he's not immune to death, and he has in fact died multiple times throughout his comic book history. Although different writers have resurrected him over the years, the Joker still does not possess the powers of immortality that some of the heroes do. One of the Joker's more recent deaths came in Batman Endgame, where the villain was seen bleeding out next to Batman, another character who's famously human. Just because the Joker has died multiple times doesn't mean he isn't still just a human underneath. He was almost a one-off character. Joker has been around for a very long time, as he actually first appeared in the second ever Batman comic. His longevity may make you think that he's invincible, but as it turns out, the Joker was actually supposed to be a one-off character. It was thought that giving Batman a reoccurring villain may make the hero look too weak, so the plan was to just use the Joker for one issue and then forget about him. Hearing about this plan definitely makes the famous villain seem a little less threatening. In the end, the creators decided that the character was too full of untapped emotional potential to leave behind, so they ended up bringing him back. Joker likes to think that he is under control of his own fate all the time, but these stories from his beginnings really remind us that he's not as powerful as he seems.
For once, I'm stuck without a punchline.
He has a sense of humor. One of the most iconic things about the Joker is his maniacal laugh, and we've heard countless stories about how Jared Leto actually walked the streets of Toronto practicing his Joker laugh out loud. The laugh isn't just part of his character, but yet another reason why the Clown Prince is more human than we all think. In all interpretations of the character, the Joker has had a sense of humor. Admittedly, a very dark sense of humor, but a sense of humor nonetheless.
I'm gonna make this pencil disappear.
His ability to find things funny is one of the reasons we think he is as crazy as he is, but when you stop to think about it, it also does make him a little bit more human. Laughter and humor are two very human things, and although the Joker's take on them might be a little twisted, it does bring him a little bit closer to being that average guy. He feels love. What is the one thing that truly makes us human? Love. We all feel love in one way or another. It's the driving force behind most of our decisions, and it's what unites us as a human species. In this sense, the Joker is definitely an average human, as he definitely feels love for Harley Quinn. Their relationship might be very messy and downright abusive at times, but deep down the Joker truly does love her, and will do things for her. Over the years, there have also been many fan fiction stories about how the Joker is actually in love with Batman. But those stories of love are far less compelling than his actual relationship with Harley. If the Joker can feel love, then he's really not that different from us after all.
You're crazy. I'm not. No, I'm not.
Wow, looks like the Joker might be closer to an average everyday human than we thought. Still, we'd advise keeping our distance, as even the most tame version of the Clown Prince is someone who we do not want to run into. Let us know your opinions on the Joker and whether or not you think he's just an average guy with some anger issues. Be sure to subscribe to CBR before heading on your way, and don't forget to come back tomorrow and every day for more fun videos. Thanks for watching.